Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to SSG Speaks, the podcast that takes you inside the walls of Camelot. Meet the knights that made Sword and Shield gaming what it is. So pour yourself a flask of your favorite mead and join us for an inside look at the fine folks that sit at the round table.
All right. Hello, folks. Welcome to SSG Speaks. This is going to be lucky number episode 16, and today we're interviewing Apollo Running. Apollo, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, guys.
Why is 16 lucky?
Well, it's lucky because it's my favorite number. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, you know what? That checks out. So how the hell are you, Apollo?
I'm great, guys. Happy to be here. Sorry for my extended absence from the community, but I'm glad you guys asked me to be on. I'm super happy to be here.
Absolutely, man. You're an old staple in the clan.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Been around for a day or two.
A day or two. You know exactly when you joined SSG?
I don't know the year. I want to say it's like 2011 or 2012. I have known Jay since before that. Since I was in the clan I was in before that, which was the Spirits of Fire. Yeah, I divorced my old clan to join SSG.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot that you came from Spirit. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it was more like Spirits of Fire devolved into fire and had nowhere else to go, so I ended up with
Apollo. You've always kind of been an honorary ally for the win, so.
Yeah. Yeah, good old days.
I actually wouldn't have been able to tell you that you weren't part of the allies. We've been playing for so long. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm. It's that name is kind of like, wow, that's a throwback.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's like all the podcasts. They're just throwbacks. That's like all they are. It's just us talking about the quote unquote good old days, right?
Right. Yeah.
When we all used to play together.
Right. Yeah.
When you had time. Yeah. No kidding. So Apollo.
Yeah.
Tell us where your name came from. What's the origin?
Yeah. So I was in a band in high school, and we were looking for a name for the band, and I was just kind of thinking up of different names, just bouncing ideas off the wall, and Apollo Running was a name I had come up with for this band, and I pitched it to my best friend who was the singer, and I was like, Apollo Running, it's like super cool. Like I was really into like the space program and like the Apollo 11, Apollo 13. I was like, really excited about it. And he was like, it's fine. I guess. But,
fine, I'll take it.
Yeah, I was like, all right. And as soon as he said no, I took it as my gamer tag, and it's been that since like I think 2007. I've refused to change it. Sorry, Jay and everyone else who has an SSG.
It's all right
in front of their name.
Oh, I actually thought that you had gone to SSG, Apollo.
Nope.
Oh, you stubborn bastard.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we have some of these, I don't want to say creative, but there are some of these gamer tags that, maybe they could be shortened, right? You could be SSG Apollo, but it's already like perfectly unique on its own, right? Like some of us, like J-Man, wouldn't really be anything without the SSG in front of it. That's why, like, before I had to add numbers or something to it, right? And so, And so some of these people with gamer tags like Apollo Running and Option Disabled, like, to add the SSG and remove one of the names, just you would lose part of it. I feel like.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
I think Option Disabled is one of the best gamer tags.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
It's like so creative. I don't think I've ever told him that, but I'm so jealous.
Well, make sure you cut this out of the episode so he doesn't hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Yeah, you got it. I stopped recording. Sorry.
Right.
Weird. Why was this podcast only 5 minutes long?
That's right.
All this praise about Option, just get it out of there.
Right. So, what did you play in the band?
I play guitar, which I guess
right
on the
there.
podcast you can't see this, but there's one right behind me. I didn't put it there at all for you guys to see.
Sure you didn't.
So I play guitar, and I also recorded it and edited all the songs, all that stuff. So it was a fun time.
So yeah, you'll be editing this podcast then.
Yeah,
right?
Great. Yeah, anytime. I hope you guys like distortion, and I hope you guys like to be and a huge reverb chamber.
Nice.
Great listening experience.
There you go.
So, being a guitarist, give me a top 5 best bands of all time.
Oh my God. It's super subjective, but so at the time I was super into Zeppelin, like Jimmy Page. So I have a Les Paul behind me, a
Almost
burst
wore my
Les Paul.
Zeppelin shirt today. I went Marley today instead of Zeppelin.
That's okay.
You're not wearing your Pearl Jam shirt, Remy.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the shirt I wore at work, so I should have dressed up for sure. But yeah, so Page, my favorite guitarist. So Zeppelin was a huge influence. Greatest bands of all time. I wasn't expecting this one. Can I just change it to like my top 5 influences? Does that work for you?
Hell yeah. Yeah, that works for me. I'm good with that.
So Zeppelin at the beginning was huge. And kind of all the way on the other side of, I guess, rock is like Bon Iver. You guys know Bon Iver?
Nope.
No? So like Zeppelin's like hard rock and Bon Iver is like the furthest away from hard rock you can possibly get.
All right.
Super.
I'll have to check it out.
Is that like the
Super
French
indie,
for happy anniversary?
It's French for good winter.
Good
is what
winter.
it is.
All right.
But the guy's he's not French. He's from Wisconsin, which I guess is close. But
Yeah, super close.
Hey, they have a Paris.
They do, yeah. So that counts. So he's been a huge influence on me in the past couple of years. So have you guys heard of the band The War on Drugs at all?
Mm-mm.
No.
So super like jam band. I've been listening to them a ton recently. It's just, I don't know, it sounds good, and it's been influencing how I'm in a band right now, and that's kind of influencing how I'm writing music now and playing music. Trying to like, it gets me pumped up to want to pick my guitar up when I get home and play.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
yeah, you need that. You know, you need someone to listen to and be like, damn, yeah, I want to do that.
Tom Morello.
Yeah, for sure.
That'll always get me in the mood to want to play.
Yeah, super creative.
Yeah.
Really unique sound.
Yeah.
I don't want to divert this into a music conversation. It's like it go on for a while.
it going.
So if you have more questions,
This is about you, man. Absolutely.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, I guess
Wherever it goes is completely about you.
Mm-hmm.
On the music front, have you guys heard or listened or watched the Bo Burnham special that just came out?
No, I have not.
Have you heard of Bo Burnham at all?
I know who he is, yeah.
Yeah, so he's like a musical comedian, super funny, super talented guy, and he kind of went off the radar 5 years ago. He directed a movie in the middle there called 8th Grade. I didn't see it, but I heard it's really good. So he came out with a special like 2 months ago called Inside, when it was filmed during the pandemic, and basically he was like in this little in-law suite, and he just kind of recorded a special in this in-law suite. It's just him and his camera and his instruments in one room, and seriously, it's like one of the greatest pieces of art I think I've ever seen.
Does he make
That's
up
awesome.
songs?
Yeah.
Like on the spot? Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he writes. It's not on the spot. It's all written, but
Okay.
he wrote, produced, recorded, did all the lighting, directing, everything. Super inspirational for me, just as a musician, and also just like just kind of the topics he goes over, like about what he went through during the pandemic, like loneliness, depression, kind of like this like meta humor. Super great. I recommended it. Everyone should watch this special. It's on Netflix. Probably one of the greatest, I think one of the greatest philosophical minds right
Nice.
now.
What was it called?
Bo Burnham. It's just called Inside.
Oh, okay.
Bo Burnham.
Okay. I will 100%. I actually just brought it up in a browser so that I could remember to watch it.
Yeah, and all the songs are on Spotify. So once you're done watching it and all the songs are in your head, you can just go ahead back on Spotify.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
and listen to it again.
Right on. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Nice.
So, migrating back to the gaming side of things.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about.
So, obviously, SSG was not your first clan. You went through Spirit of Fire first, but was that your first clan experience?
It was, yeah. I was just kind of coming out of high school at that time, and what happened was I just kind of joined this online community randomly called Haughty McBloggy.
Oh
you
my
guys
God.
remember this?
I do remember
Yeah,
this.
hell yeah, I do.
BS Angels, I guess, blog,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Haughty McBloggy, and they had. So I joined it. So I was actually thinking about this story the past week, 'cause I knew that it would come up. Why did I join Hottie McBloggy?
Because you were just out of high school. What
yes,
more reason do you need?
That's for sure. But I think she was doing some kind of contest to give away the fabled Recon armor. You guys remember that? Where everyone was like doing whatever they could possibly do to get Recon.
And then they just gave it away to everybody.
Yet. Right.
Which really pissed me off after I worked hard to get it.
Yeah, worked my ass off.
So she had some kind of art contest to win it, I guess. And I had photoshopped something that kind of recreated that elite Sergeant Johnson embrace at the end of Halo 1. I did some kind of Photoshop to do that. It was terrible.
Legendary edition only.
It's legendary, exactly. Spoilers for anyone who hasn't played it for some reason.
Yeah, 20 years old. I think we're good.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm totally gonna win. This is so good. So have you guys heard of the guy who went by Halcyon at the time?
Yeah, he works for Halo, or used to work for Bungie.
Yeah, he works for Bungie, or he did.
That's right.
He ended up winning, and I was like super upset because my piece of art didn't get chosen. But I ended up joining their community because I think at the time I had then started some kind of dumb webcomic in the hopes that Bungie would notice it and give me Recon. And I went to Hottie McBloggy to promote it, and ended up liking the people so much I ended up joining and staying. And
that's how they get you.
Exactly, yeah.
Reel you in with the art.
Yeah, being too nice.
So on her
Devious.
on the website, so her website's still up. And did you know that BS Angel has a Recon tattoo?
Does she?
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me.
So that's a thing.
Now Angel has an account on the forums, does she not?
Yeah. She came around and she was a big help to the community. Like again, with you're saying, Apollo really helped with some of these challenges and events and things like that. So she would help promote like mixers and all that kind of stuff. So she was, I don't know, like from my impression of it, like Spirits of Fire and Hottie McBloggy or BS Angel, they kind of were but weren't the same thing. Like was she technically even like in the clan? Like was she parts of Spirit of Fire, or was it like just affiliated with her?
She was.
Okay.
She was in it just because it was hosted on her site. So I guess she felt obligation to be a part of it. I mean,
fine.
Yeah, she didn't really. I mean, she's great. I'm not going to say anything bad about her because we all loved BS Angel,
awesome.
And she's amazing. But I think she didn't. I don't remember. I don't want to say what didn't happen because it's so long ago. But she was in it, and she was really generous to let us use her forums as a base of operations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she moved to 343, or maybe just Microsoft proper, I guess, at some point several years ago.
I believe that's correct. Yeah, Microsoft.
And I don't know.
I think she's moved on from there, right?
Yeah,
She's not there anymore.
Because she was kind of doing a tag team thing with Larry Herb, like with community outreach and stuff like that for a while, which she actually her and Major Nelson at one point hooked me up big time because I had a
nice.
I forget the problem. Somebody hacked into my Xbox Live account, and I had a problem with a bunch of purchases. So like a whole bunch of stuff got purchased or refunded, or something something happened, and I lost a bunch of my purchases. And so I reached out to them and explained everything to them, and Deej, because that was when Deej was at Bungie. And
so, name dropping over here.
Yeah, jeez.
and so like all three of them like helped me do different things, which was really awesome. Like they kind of got all of my stuff back, which is really nice. So it was
very good.
It was nice to have friends. And then and she, for one of our, I think maybe Halo 4-ish era, one of our Halo tournaments, she gave me like 3 or 4 signed copies, Halo posters from 343.
Wow.
So it was cool because I could use
awesome.
those for prizes. So that was kind of nice. So yeah, she's always been around, been a big help with SSG and the GGN.
Yeah, she was always a great ambassador for the game and for the community at large.
Yeah, we need to see what she was up to. Bug her.
Definitely. Yeah.
If I've got the right person, which I do believe I have on LinkedIn, she's still at Microsoft.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe she might have changed divisions, or I don't know. But I remember
Yeah.
at some point her name became public, so I think that was like the point where Hottie McBloggy was no more.
Yeah. So from Spirit of Fire to SSG,
Yeah.
what kind of differences did you see in the clan? Is there any notable differences?
I mean, the people were all great. You know, the people in Spirits were, everyone was amazing, friendly. Everyone just wanted to have a good time, and that's exactly what SSG was. Everyone was just out to be friends and just have fun together and not be super over the top competitive or anything. So that was definitely the difference. But I think there was more organization and more structure in SSG, which was cool. Like all the divisions that you guys had.
That's this guy right here.
Yeah.
That's all Jay.
I like to be a little organized.
Just a smidge.
Yeah.
He's slightly anal retentive.
So at Spirits, I was actually ended up being one of the leaders. I worked my way up the ranks, and I convinced them to let me run things. And that's, I helped get us into the GGN, and then I ran us into the ground somehow.
I was going to say, that's how it dissolved.
Exactly. It was the highest highs and the lowest lows under my tenure, for sure.
I mean, that's our specialty. SSG is stealing all the leaders from all the other GGN clans. So
yeah,
it's
it
true.
seems like
I think we have the vast majority of them at this point.
Yeah. Victor, who I guess isn't Victor anymore, is Kaz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like Geezer Gamers. What was he in?
Cirque de Geezers.
Cirque de Geezers.
Yeah. That's fitting.
Yeah, he's just so old.
And he was one of my
He's going to be
first.
so mad when he hears this. Not even
He
on
was
that one.
Right.
He was my first exposure to the GGN. Because when I was helping with Spirits, I was trying to get like mixers and stuff put together, and they were one of the first ones we played with.
Yeah.
So he was one, first guys I reached out to. So he's been always very, very helpful and just a great guy all around.
Yeah, he was really a really good community ambassador, because I feel like he was, even things that Cirque wasn't part of, he was very good at organizing the different mixers and challenges and community events. Like he just was so good at it, and it's a lot of work to put into that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
absolutely.
It's, turning around and praising him after
Yeah.
making fun of him.
Well, I had I went hard to try and get him, because I was like, hey, if the Cirques aren't playing, why don't you come look at SSG? And finally he came over to SSG, and I was like, hey, you did such a great job running Cirque and running these mixers. Why don't you maybe look at being an overlord? And he was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And it took me probably 5 years to convince him to finally be an overlord at SSG. Because I was like, you're just like, you're really good at it though. So,
but please.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I remember when I came over to SSG, I think it was like 2011 or so, we had talked about the same thing, and I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. And then I don't know why, but I was just not around enough.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have the time to. So I feel bad about that, because you're like, I think excited maybe to have me come over.
Well, then
But
you
then
ran it into the ground.
And then the resume wasn't good enough.
Well, no, it's like, like I said, it's so nice to be, for SSG to be this home and this haven for all of these, either wayward or not, people that came from different communities, and certainly that had run, organized, and had either leadership roles or community roles in these other communities. And it's awesome. Like the pedigree of people we have now is just, it's amazing that we've either had previously or that currently have. Like it's really nice. So we definitely don't have a dearth of talented people. So it is pretty sweet. So what are you playing now? Are you on an Xbox now, or what video games are you doing? Okay.
So I just got a Series X. I somehow figured out how to get that going.
Nice.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of Twitter feeds that I followed, and as soon as I got a notification that it was in stock, and I had to drive to New Jersey to get it, which wasn't the greatest experience.
So where were you driving from, or how far was that drive?
So we were talking before we got on, Jay. I just moved to Philly like 2 months ago.
Okay.
We bought a new house. So it's like only an hour, but still, you don't ever want to go to New Jersey. Like, if someone says I go to New Jersey, it's like, oh God, why?
America's armpit.
Yeah, exactly. So back to the question. So I have the new Xbox, and I just finished playing Mass Effect 1 on it, which isn't really the best use of the technology, but I had gotten the anniversary edition because Mass Effect is one of my favorite series of games, so I'm playing through the whole series. So I've just finished Mass Effect 1, starting 2 the other night, so that's what I've been playing a lot recently. A lot of single-player games, I think, like Cyberpunk I played over the winter. And I've been playing, every now and then play Call of Duty, Warzone. I have some buddies from D.C. That's where I came from, for those listening. I used to live in Washington, D.C. Some friends I knew IRL that I would play with because they would play Warzone randomly. So
Yeah, I think that's the last time you and I played.
That's about it.
Was not Warzone, but probably
not
Call of Duty
Warzone,
proper.
Yeah. What was it, like election night or the day of the election?
It might have been.
And
Yeah.
I was like, I took the work day off, and I was like, I just need to distract myself. So I just saw you on Call of Duty. I was like, oh, Jay, just play with him. And you weren't even playing at all. You're just randomly on it for some reason. But it was a good
Jay,
time.
you and I played together that day as well. I know that because I was streaming. That was Extra Life.
Yeah.
And you were the one that told me that Biden had won.
Nice.
So I guess it wasn't election day. It was when
It's like
the
a
news
week after.
finally- Yeah, it was. I guess it was.
Oh, yeah.
A ways after.
Yeah, because it was almost a week. Because we learned
almost a week.
Saturday or no, it was like Monday or something, Sunday or Monday, and that following
No, it
week.
had to have been a Saturday.
It was like a Saturday or Sunday morning because I was actually driving to play golf for some buddies, and I got the notification that, like, as I was arriving to the golf course. Anyway, I don't want to get too political. That's when it happened. I remember it distinctly.
Yes, either you loved it or hated it, but everybody's going to remember that for
Exactly.
sure.
Everybody knew it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're playing Xbox now. What? Where did your gaming career start? What was your first system?
Super Nintendo. My brother had a Super Nintendo, and we played Super Mario on it. Or more like he would beat Super Mario for me on it. I think I played the first 4 worlds, and I couldn't go past that. So then I would call him in to finish it for me. But Super Nintendo, Super Mario.
So Super Mario World then, right?
Yeah,
I'm guessing with such a great game. Yeah, with Yoshi.
Still one of the all-time best.
Yeah, absolutely. Still hard, too. I've tried going back to play it and still can't get out of the first
Dude,
world.
Bowser and that floating cloud bullshit. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Absolutely. So it was that. And from there, we got a 64, like in 97, I guess. Whenever it came out, we got a 64, and I got Mario 64. So Mario was a big theme growing up. Played like almost every Mario title there was.
Yeah, I think we're just of that generation, right? So.
Yeah, it's
exactly.
Mario and or Sonic.
Yeah.
Right. So I had Nintendos for a while. I got the GameCube and played Mario on that and other things, obviously. But I remember Xbox came out and Halo came out, and I remember hating it at first. I think I hated it at first because I was super jealous that it was this big new title on non-Nintendo system.
And you couldn't play it.
Well, I was like, it's not Nintendo. It's not good. How can it be good? It's not on Nintendo.
I had the same exact mentality.
Yeah. And then I played it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Well, shit.
Yeah, I guess I got to get one of these.
Yeah, I remember
newfangled boxes.
The first thing that impressed me, I mean, obviously the gunplay and stuff was really good. But once I figured out how the Warthog drove, you just change your view and you eventually just kind of slide around. I was like, this is so much better.
There is no better control system for a vehicle.
It's so good.
I love the Warthog, love the Mongoose.
Absolutely. The first time I played Halo, though, wasn't actually when I fell in love with it because my buddy of mine played with inverted Y axis.
The correct way.
And
yes.
All right. I guess it's gonna be one of those now. Okay.
And interview over.
Yeah, great. I wasn't used to it. I don't know. Playing from GameCube, some of the games on GameCube had very similar control, like Medal of Honor. You use the C kind of joystick thing to move, so it was very
the C
similar.
nubbin.
Yes, but it wasn't inverted, so I knew the non-inverted movement. And then I went to play Halo, and he inverted the Y, and I was like, "This is terrible. Who plays games like this?" only Microsoft will make something as terrible as this. And I just and then eventually I learned that you could uninvert it, and then at that point I was hooked because it was fantastic, obviously.
Yeah, my
Even
daughter.
though you're playing it backwards.
Yeah,
that's true.
my daughter recently broke my heart. She doesn't play inverted anymore because like when they first started playing, I set them all to inverted, and to set them right on Minecraft and Fortnite and stuff. And then I think we started playing when I got her an Xbox. One of the games, either Minecraft or Fortnite, I did not invert it, and so she started playing, and I guess she either prefers it or just got used to it that way. And then one day she was like, "Hey, can you switch, the other game to this?" And I was like, "Oh,
yes,
damn, lost her."
You lost one. My kid does non-inverted as well. It's awful.
I mean, I'm sure if I was forced to play with inverted, I could get used to it. But it's just like the way my mind works. It just doesn't.
It is
I don't know.
difficult.
I don't think you can change between it. Like it's just like playing in a mirror. I mean, it's just impossible.
It's like left-handed or right-handed. Like one or the other works, the other one just doesn't.
Yeah, Jay, you should try playing a game, Cluster Truck. It's on Game Pass. There's no option to change it, but it's a phenomenal game, so you have to get used to it. But the number of times you'll accidentally do a flip or some shit like that because you're trying to look down and all of a sudden you're...
Well,
it's the worst.
For some of the games that don't include it, like I remember, what was that first PUBG? Like when PUBG launched on the Xbox, like there wasn't an option.
Yeah.
And I was like, why? Like, you could go in and like change your controller manually if you want, like in the Xbox settings, but I'm like, I'm not going to, tell it to flip around just
that
for this
game
one
had so
game.
many problems as it was on Xbox.
Oh, I gotta go pick up my pants. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
If you know that it's an option, like, because some people don't know that you can flip it, right? So they're just kind of stuck to whatever the default is, which I guess is not inverted usually. But
the real way.
I think we're in the minority, but we're a vocal minority for sure.
I can tell.
We are a vocal minority, and we're correct.
That's right. So Apollo, besides playing video games and playing on the guitar, what do you do for a living?
So my official title is a software developer, but I feel like that's super, broad. So I work for a company called Pepperdash, and basically what we do is we do control system programming for audiovisual systems.
Okay.
So there's a company called Crestron. I'm not sure if either of you have heard of Crestron. They're big in the AV industry. So basically what we do, so every company has like conference rooms, sometimes they have classrooms, theaters and stuff. They all have AV systems, and it's a huge thing, huge industry. And we program like user interfaces to work with these systems. Sounds really boring as I'm saying it. It's not that
No,
boring.
It sounds very
cool,
complicated to me.
but
No, that's actually pretty rad. I wish I knew more about that kind of stuff.
we work with a lot of really cool companies. We have a contract with a very big company, and I can't say who they are because we have an NDA with them, but I would just say that Jay loves this company. That's all I will say. So we get to work with companies like that, and companies like that will give us gear so that we can work on their systems, if that makes sense to people who know what I'm talking about.
Badass.
Yeah. It is really cool. We get to work with a lot of cutting-edge technology, get to work in a lot of cool spaces.
So I'd imagine it's pretty dynamic, right? So like you were saying, like spaces, right? So you might do like auditoriums and theaters to small conference rooms to all sorts of different stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of universities, theaters, mostly corporate spaces, but rich corporations.
So say like a big corporation makes like a bespoke auditorium thing. You might, your company might help, help set that up. Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Theoretically, if that were
Theoretically, yes. Yeah. But yeah, and I think, Jay, I know you follow me on Instagram. I had that picture like 2 years ago in San Francisco in the Salesforce Tower.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Remember that? So it wasn't Salesforce; it was a law firm, but still, like it's at the top floor of Salesforce Tower, looking over in San Francisco. Like that's the kind of places I get to go sometimes.
Yeah, that's a pretty amazing view right there.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
There
Yeah,
I
was,
work with Salesforce all the time, and I've never been invited. Some bullshit.
Man, that is bullshit. I'll let them know. I've been to their
appreciate that.
tower, so
Put a
I
good
know
word
where
in
they
for
live.
me, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
I was watching I listened to a lot of music on YouTube, and there was I don't know, somebody had like some kind of like chill hop collection or something like that, and they showed a bunch of.
Nice.
I wonder where this footage came from, because it, like the people who had the music just put it to different like random videos. I'll have to find the video, but it was these beautiful people going to beautiful locations, and just must cost thousands and millions of dollars to do this traveling and get these photo shoots and like all this kind of stuff. But one of them was there was an infinity pool with a glass bottom, and the part of the pool that was glass went over a cliff. So it went over a cliff like 10 feet, and so the whole bottom of the pool was glass, and then it was an infinity pool that rolled over.
Nope.
And they had like a drone shot that kind of went through and kind of showed you how it's hundreds of feet down and just jagged cliff into the ocean. Like,
Nah.
it's just ridiculous.
I'm sure it's gorgeous. I'm sure it looks
great.
amazing, but hell no.
Yeah,
No,
I was getting all sweaty. Like my hands were sweating
Yeah.
just watching this video. Just like Jesus.
I'm not about that.
So
I saw a video on Reddit recently. Just reminded me of this, where it was like an influencer went to this like tall tower. It was still being constructed. They went up and they had no
I saw that.
supports, and then like the girl like let the guy hang her over the edge of this building for her to take. It was I couldn't watch the whole thing. It was my palms got super sweaty. I was like, this is terrible. I had to close it.
I read through the comments on that one, and it sounds like they actually got in trouble for that.
Oh, good.
Pretty hefty fine on that one.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
man, I just don't understand sometimes what people do
I
for the
value
grams.
my life so much more than that.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's like those. I think I don't know. It's in Russia or something like that. But there was a bunch of like basically free climbers and people doing hardcore parkour, and they would they just walk out on these beams and they've got nothing. They're just walking out in the middle of a like an unfinished building.
Yeah.
And they're climbing up and they're swinging, and then they'll walk out onto a beam and kind of hang off it, and they're 100 something stories up in the air. Like it's just
I don't get it. Can't.
No.
I don't want to think about it.
no.
Next
But
question,
especially
please.
somebody else though, like holding you over. No.
I don't trust
Yeah.
anybody that much.
No, never. Whew. All right.
That's insane.
So you get to go to all these cool places.
Yeah. Sometimes.
And obviously you game and whatnot, but what kind of hobbies do you have outside of those things?
So yeah, I play guitar. I'm in a band. But
Oh, you're still in a band. Right on.
yeah, it's not the same band. It's a different band.
I'd imagine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the past band was like my best friend, and the music we played was, I was really proud of it. In a different band with some other really good friends of mine, and it became kind of like a pandemic hobby where we would all just kind of pass tracks around to each other, and the guy would sing to it, and then one guy would have some guitar basic chords, and I would get it, and I would put some synth and some more guitars on it, and I would mix
nice.
it for everybody, and yeah, it was fun, and we're still doing it. I've been kind of busy, so I haven't done it in the past couple of months, but we have like 5 songs that we're getting mixed right now professionally,
That's awesome.
and then we're going to release like a EP or whatever on Spotify or something.
Oh, nice.
Oh, let us know when it drops, man. We'll absolutely pimp
Absolutely.
it out to SSG.
Yeah. Have you released music before then, like publicly? Professionally,
so
I
the band
guess
that
I
I was
should say.
in, kind of, yeah. So the band that I was in high school, we put an album out in 2012, a full 12-song album. I don't even know where you can listen to it online. We didn't put it might be on Spotify, but it might not be. They might have deleted it at this point. I don't know. But yeah, so that was actually my senior project in college, was to mix our album and release it and everything. So that was
nice.
That's
that was
really cool.
fun.
So what did you go to school for?
So I went to school for audio engineering. So that was why my
That checks out.
yeah my capstone was to mix my band's album, basically.
One of the very few people to actually be working in their field that they graduated.
Yeah, tangentially related. Yeah, even though I'm more of a programmer now. Like I write code and everything. But
Oh, I see. Okay.
there are some not students, yeah, I guess kind of students, but classmates, what I meant to say, of mine that got involved in an AV company, and I lived in the same area they did, and then they said, were looking for someone. I joined joined that company as a technician, a field tech, and I kind of worked my way up to be a programmer, and that's where I am now. So I don't really get to put my degree to much use, but it did get me a job, so
that's something.
That is something. A job that doesn't require a degree, but hey, who cares? So yeah. And then besides music, I'm actually a huge golfer. I play golf a lot. I was actually playing golf yesterday. I was going to play today, but I didn't want to be too tired for this, so I didn't.
It's a very grueling interview process.
It is, yeah. Well, I wanted to be
we don't have any fun.
Lucid.
That's right.
So yeah, even though I've been kind of busy with, we just moved to Philly and getting our house all set up, I haven't been able to play as much as I used to, like in the past couple of years, but it's one of my big, I guess passions. It's one of those things where if I could not work anymore, I would just do that every day, basically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I've actually never played real golf. I played mini golf plenty of times, but never played a round of real golf.
I don't recommend it.
Duly noted.
Too many years, too much money put into it to only be moderately good. I wouldn't recommend it.
Fair enough.
Once you go out and play golf, either just the driving range or you go play, a round of golf, and then you watch professional golfers on TV, and you're just like, I'm terrible.
Yeah.
It's just
put you right in your place.
It's so because when you watch it on TV without context, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. He hit the ball
whatever.
like
Cool,
he's a professional golfer. But then you go play, and it's impossible. It's just like there's plenty of people that have years and a lifetime of practice, and they're not professional golfers, right? So it's like any other sport. You just have to have that aptitude and athleticism to be able to play.
Yeah, and patience too, because a lot of people will just give up, and rightfully so, because it's a terrible sport that sucks your soul if you don't get too careful. But exactly, it takes a lot of patience and I guess skill. I don't know, just time really, and money. Unfortunately, lots of money.
Well,
I know it's not cheap.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where there's so many, almost like baseball, like where your grip and your stance and your swing is everything, right? Like that's everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you talk to 4 different people, and they'll give you 4 slightly different answers on how to hold the club, how to swing, how to know, and it's like there is no perfectly right way, right? That's why there's so many different answers. Yeah. And you look at different golfers, different baseball players, and there's so many different swings but some people just, they get it, they're, the way that they're good at or comfortable, and they can just do it, and then that's how they progress. And people like me that still just will never get it, right? So you were saying that, that you guys just moved. So who is everyone that moved? Are you married? You got a significant other? You got kids? You got dogs?
My fiance and I now, I got engaged last August during the pandemic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we were dating for 3.5 years, and we were living together at that point for 2 years, and then I figured, we've been living together for that long, and then pandemic happened, and we were stuck in the same apartment together for
might
months.
as well, right?
I figured, we don't hate each other, and we're not killing each other. Mm-hmm. Might as well make it official.
Like one of those two things is going to happen. Either we're just going to, be at each other's throats, or it's perfect. So
exactly, yeah, and it was perfect, for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, and so we bought a house last August. It's a new construction, so we bought it in August, and they just finished building it in June. So we moved in July 1st.
So you got engaged and bought a house in the same month?
Yes. Yep.
Life
a lot
changes.
Of things. Yes, a lot of things. We move fast. We don't.
Wow.
We don't wait for life to happen. We just do it.
So how did you end up in Philly? Is that where you wanted? Were you trying to?
Yeah,
I mean,
we were first looking in the DC area, but it's just so expensive. If we did stay there, we would have had to move like an hour west into West Virginia almost, and it just didn't seem not what we wanted. We love the area we were in, and it just didn't work. And so her whole family is up here outside Philly. Most of my family is outside Philly. My parents like an hour away. her parents are 15 minutes down the road. It just made a ton of sense.
That's awesome.
So right now it's us two, and then we have a dog that we got 2.5 years ago.
I was going to say August.
No, that would be funny though. So yeah, it's just 3 of us. We just moved in, and we're just kind of getting settled still. So we've been busy. We're kind of in limbo for a while. I moved up here in April, and I was staying at her parents' place until the house was done. But she had to stay down there because she's a school teacher, and her school year was still going. So she stayed with a friend of hers until the school year was over. So we were apart for like 2 months. And I was with her parents, and she was down there. And then in June, she came back, and now we're in our house.
Well, congratulations, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Thank
fantastic.
Yeah, we're very happy, for sure.
So with the with her being a school teacher, how did they do school there, and how will they do school here? Like, is it where they have summers off, or is it the full year school? Is it
the school that she was teaching at down there was private, and they take the summers off and all that, but it's definitely different than what public does. They kind of do their own thing. They make their own rules basically. They're not bound to any kind of state laws, so they can just do whatever they want.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, well, I know in COVID, like a lot of the private schools got hammered with kids because they were still going to school, and they weren't beholden to any of the county and state rules and stuff. So
luckily, the beginning of COVID, that first year, her school they were smart and they shut it down. They were just remote and they just figure it out. And that was definitely a fun transition, trying to just figure out how to do everything remotely all of a sudden. But the next full year, they kind of did a hybrid thing where they started remote for a couple weeks, and they went in class for a couple days and remote a couple days, and then eventually second half of the year they were just in class the whole time. But there's a lot of change, a lot of new rules and regulations to kind of work around. But they did their best.
So what about you? Did you have to work from home a lot, or were you already working from home, or how did that work with you?
Yeah, I worked from home primarily. So the way that my job works, if we don't have to we don't have an office. Like, my home office is my office. My company has a headquarters. It's in Boston, so I'm obviously not commuting to Boston every day. So we do a lot of like development at home, and then we go on site and install code. So sometimes that means going on site. Sometimes it can be remote, because sometimes the site can be in China, or it can be in Germany. It could be anywhere, really. So there's not always budget for travel. So remote is always possible, but usually it's like half and half. Half and half at home, half on site. And it's kind of a nice balance, because you're not getting sick of being at home. You're not getting sick of being on the road. It's kind of best of both worlds, which is great. Yeah, so I was definitely used to the at-home life already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you guys moved from D.C. Is that where you grew up?
No, so I grew up in PA. I grew up in Harrisburg, which is the capital, and I moved down to D.C. for school, and I stayed down there. And then, I met Melissa, my fiance. She grew up in Philly, and it just made a lot of sense.
Right on.
In D.C., there's so many people come to D.C. for work all over the country. So to meet someone who was from the same state, who was like, her parents lived in the same place that my parents lived, it was all
that's
nice, happy
stroke
coincidence.
Yeah,
of luck.
that's pretty amazing.
Sure.
So it sounds like you've gotten an opportunity to do a reasonable amount of traveling.
Yeah, not too much, because it can be too much. But I was in Boston a couple months ago. I go to New York sometimes. I don't really go to the West Coast a lot, because we have people on the West Coast. It's really like if something like a huge crunch comes up and everyone's busy and there's no one else that can do something, then I'll go to the remote locations. But usually I stick to the West Coast, or not East Coast. Sorry.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anywhere that you'd love to see? Anywhere you'd love to travel?
I would love to go to Japan someday. Both Melissa and I think we talk about this a lot, where we would want to go. Japan would be great. New Zealand, I think, is on our list.
Yeah.
Those are the top two. Anywhere. Anywhere that's not the U.S. I would say. Anywhere that I can go to. Just new cultures. You want to get out of your bubble and see other places.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love to make my way out to Japan and Australia.
Yeah.
I'll take anything. I'm with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just put me in your suitcase. I'll stow
Maybe
away.
I'll wait until like the teleporting becomes a thing, because the only barrier to
hell
that
no.
is like the.
Absolutely not. I don't want to be deconstructed and reconstructed
That's true.
somewhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
You don't trust that?
Maybe not teleportation, but
It doesn't
Not
even
gonna
exist
be a
yet.
beta
I'm not-
tester?
No, hell no.
yeah.
Oh,
You know,
man.
the stratosphere airplanes, when the Concorde comes back, maybe that's when we'll travel. across
There's
the-
a
across
reason
the
it,
globe.
it no longer exists.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
It was what, $15,000 a ticket or something like that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane amount of money because it took so much to actually get it up and running.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So have you gotten to meet any clanmates in person from SSG?
I actually haven't. I've missed all of the lands. Unfortunately, there were some where I almost was able to go, but like school or work or something just came up, and then the past couple of years I haven't really been around. Sorry
That's
again.
right. You were supposed to go to
But-
Chicago.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, you dipped
While-
out of
while
Chicago last second. No, that's right. I was
Bringing
at that
bullshit.
one. No, I was
Um,
looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah. I was supposed to go to Dan and Heather's wedding years ago, like 2 years ago. I was invited
Yep.
at least. And something happened. I forget why. There was definitely something that came up that I just couldn't go, like important, but I can't remember what it was. So I'm sorry I had to miss that too, because
Life happens.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. Happens to the worst of us.
But I would absolutely love to be able to come to eventually meet some of you guys, all of you guys, obviously, at some point.
Yep. Well,
Well,
we're in
there's
the
chatter
throes
about,
of planning one now. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where at?
I think we're looking at Seattle, right?
Yeah. Currently talking about Pacific Northwest,
Oh, nice.
Seattle somewhere. So.
Seattle would be cool. I've always wanted to go to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
I did get to meet some people from Spirits though.
No, we don't
years
care
ago.
about them.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. I'll stop talking about it.
Wait, was it Rowboat?
Just
If it's
messing.
Rowboat, then then that.
No, unfortunately, I've always wanted to meet him in person. Him and I mean, I can't speak for how he feels, but he was one of my favorite people to play with.
Mhm.
Like such a funny guy, so friendly. Also a really good Halo player. Him and I had at least he was one of my good friends on Xbox back then.
Right.
We played a lot. But so remember Mendicant Bias?
Mm-hmm.
So he got married in 2011, I think, and I was invited. A bunch of us from SOF were invited. So we took a road
Nice.
trip up to Michigan for his wedding.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. And I got so I met Ark. So yes, I
Oh.
have met an SSG member because Ark was in Spirits of Fire for SSG.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I don't know that I don't know if I knew that or I remember that.
And he's in
Yeah.
the Seattle area as well, isn't he? So he should be
Possibly.
Yeah.
the Seattle land, or at least
That'd be
close
cool to see him again.
Spokane.
Another great dude. Him and I got along really well.
Yeah,
I think
good guy.
yeah, for sure. So I met him, met Crazed one. If you remember him from SOF.
I do.
He's
Yep.
a really nice guy.
Some names I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, and a couple others that weren't really around that much. But yeah, it was a good time, for sure.
One of the last things I did before the pandemic shut everybody indoors was went on a road trip to Arizona to go to
Nice.
Faith Keeper's wedding.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, the clanmates' weddings are a good gathering. There were a handful
I'm sure.
of people that I recognized there. I'm like, oh, you're this guy. I don't remember who
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
was
A
there,
lot
but
of
it was
TTL guys, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a couple of TTL guys.
Nice. TTL was like one of the legendary clans.
That's how SSG started.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
So
talk
I can
with guys
imagine
there.
that Faith Keeper is a really good dancer. I bet he danced a lot at his. I've never met him in person, but I just
Dude,
can visually
seems like he would.
seem that he would be a dancing machine.
It's really funny that you say that because his profile picture on Facebook is still him dancing at his wedding. And he's all about it. And
Nice.
he's got like two of his kids hanging on him. He's just, he's like a born dad. He is
The baby
best
maker.
dad. Yeah, the
The only
bearded
thing,
baby.
yeah, that's the one thing I know about him. He's got a lot of kids, apparently. That's the thing that he made public about himself. He's got a lot
Right.
of kids.
Yeah, the bearded baby maker. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
right. Don't look too closely at that beard.
I
Dangerous.
remember a couple nights, I think back in like 2010, years ago, I stayed up way too late playing Halo with him, SSG Torts, and BS Angel. Like, stayed up to like 6 a.m. my time playing Halo with them.
Been there.
Couple nights in a row. It was great. Like, BS Angel was hard to get a hold of. It's hard to get into a lobby with her, or at least it was. So it's like, oh my god,
you mean Hottie McBloggy?
Exactly. I gotta stay here forever because you never know when I have the chance again.
Actually, Faithkeeper is the reason that I am in SSG.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He's the one that invited me to be an ally for TTL. Yeah.
Nice.
I got a job at a place that he worked, and we got to talking about video games, and 12, 13 years later, here I am.
That's awesome.
Good cool. Guy. I like that guy.
Seems like it.
He is. He really is.
Yeah, every time he comes out to California, because this is where he's from, right? Not 30 minutes from here.
Nice.
We make sure to get together. And his new wife is awesome.
Very cool.
So what do you think was your most memorable time in SSG? Is there anything that sticks out to you in particular?
Good question.
I think it, not one time, I think it's like a span of time. And I think that was the whole of Destiny 1. So I think that was when all of SSG really came together and played all the time. Like every night, I think I was playing with like Thor, Dan and Heather, Deadeye, Jet. Every night we were doing something, and it was great. Like Destiny 1, so many great times playing with everyone from SSG.
A lot of raiding. I remember raiding a lot.
Yes.
I think that's the last time I played with you, Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's the deal.
Because
Destiny 2 exists. You guys could both get, and we could play.
So
not happening.
Yeah, no. So I love Destiny 1. I played Destiny 2 for the first year or so, and I don't know. It just didn't last for me. I still love the game. I still love the franchise and Bungie, and it's a great shooter. And once in a while, I'll pop it in just for like just to kind of shoot some
to get that Bungie feeling. Yeah,
exactly. But I feel like Destiny 2 just didn't do it for me as much as Destiny 1 did, which is a shame, because Destiny 1 was great. But I mean, I'll still jump into Destiny 2 with anyone now, but it's just kind of like, not my first thought anymore.
Yeah, that's far from my first thought.
Yeah. we can start a GoFundMe, raise a bunch of money, then give it to charity, and make Remy play Destiny 2.
I'm in. That's fine. Extra Life. Hey, you know what, Jay? I will do some Destiny 2 on Extra Life this year for you.
All right.
As long as you're there for it.
Nice.
Yep,
right.
I'll be there.
All right.
Do I have to shave my
hopefully
head?
I have Starlink by then. I think that'll be on the list this year. I'll put my hair up for sacrifice.
There you go.
And a friend of mine also suggested that I put going out in drag on the list. Like, I'm close enough to Hollywood. Would it really be that big of a deal?
There you go. So,
Nice.
So I don't think I've ever. I don't know that anybody in SSG probably knows this story, but when I was, I guess
SSG exclusive.
Yeah, between podcast exclusive, between going to college and then starting paramedic school, I worked at a skate shop, and it was a rollerblade or inline skate shop. I don't think we did any skateboards. I think it was just strictly rollerblades. And so, anyway, I worked there, and we had some figure skates, but mostly it was all rollerblades. And to go with the figure skating, we had figure skating dresses for 8-year-old, 14-year-old girls or something like that. And so it was me and one of my good friends. We were the only two employees besides the owner, and it was me and him. And there was a dartboard, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to play darts?" And I'm like, "Sure." Like, we're not doing anything. We were just dick around in the store. And so he's like, "All right, well, let's make a wager." He's like, "Whoever loses darts has to go in your Jeep with the top down and doors off, but wear that yellow figure skating dress through the drive-thru at McDonald's." And I was like, "All right, And so this is a good friend of mine at the time that I felt like I knew pretty well. But what I didn't know is that he was really good at darts.
Shark.
And so just got my ass smoked. So I had to drive through McDonald's drive-thru with this yellow dress skirt thing that did not fit me at all. And order some food, and they kind of stared at me like, "Who the hell is this guy and what's going on?" So
well, I'm not gonna lie, I cannot think of a better place to end the podcast than that. With the exception, we do have to ask you, we ask everybody, your Desert Island book, movie, TV show, album.
All four or one of?
All four, one of each.
All four. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think TV show would have to be The Office, because Melissa and I watched well, we did before we took it off Netflix. We watched it just over and over and over and over, and I don't think I'll ever get sick of it. So, The Office.
I got through 5 episodes. I couldn't do it.
That's fine. It's my island, not yours.
Yeah, that's right. How many seasons were there?
9 officially.
Yeah.
But after 7, you can just stop.
Ooh, okay. Did you ever watch the British version?
I didn't, and I do want to. I heard it's obviously it's based off of that, and I heard it's fantastic. So I do want to watch it eventually. And I'm so into The Office that I'm actually listening to the Office Ladies podcast right now, which is Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey, them just doing an episode for every Office episode and breaking it down and giving inside stories. So I am that much into The Office that I'm listening to
that is deep.
It is cool. It is, yes.
That's awesome.
So that's TV show. Album, I would think I would have to go with, the first one that came to my mind is just Bon Iver, their self-titled album, Bon Iver. To me, it was, I don't know, it just blew me away when I listened to it, and I can still listen to it whenever and not sick of it. I think I've listened to that, like, it came out in 2011. I didn't stop listening to it until like 2017, maybe.
Wow.
When the next album came out. Yeah, so classic for me. See, movie is so hard because you can't think of like your favorite movie. You got to think of like the movie you can watch over and over again and not be sick of it.
One of the Lord of the Rings, 4 hours long, stretched out as long as you can.
So do trilogies count? Because then I could do Lord of the Rings.
Why the hell not?
Then, sure.
That's theoretical anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lord of the Rings is up there. I mean, The Matrix, not the 2 and 3. They don't exist. Just the first one. The first Matrix. Remember when it came out?
So
Every
good.
single time that someone told me they hadn't seen The Matrix, I would say, "You know what we're doing tonight, right? Watching The Matrix."
That's how I felt about Fight Club.
Watching.
Anytime somebody I talked to somebody didn't see Fight Club, I'm like, ooh, we got to watch it.
Come on over.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the 4th Matrix?
Kind of. I want to see what it is, what the kind of story they cooked up. I'll also watch it, but I don't think that it can ever kind of beat the spectacle of the first one.
No, certainly not. No, that was something special.
I think the world that they built is interesting, so I want to see what they do with it. But yeah, we'll see. Book, I don't know because I don't read at all, which is sad. I know I should read, but the one book that I do love is Carl Sagan's Pale Blue Dot.
Oh, okay. That's a hell of a choice.
Yeah, a lot of really just good philosophy in there, I think. He was a good dude. A lot of really good ideas, I think, just how to be a good person. Also science stuff, whatever. But yeah, it was some interesting perspectives in there that I think kind of shaped my worldview. So that's a good book.
Right on.
Nice.
Well, that sounds like a perfect little bow.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, thank you, Apollo, so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is great. Good to talk to you guys.
It was. We need to get some games in. I feel like we say that every time, but yeah.
Every single podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You can invite me whenever you see me on. I will try to join you.
All right, let's make it happen.
But no, for sure. I do want to. I was been thinking that I need to jump back in now that I'm kind of more settled and be more active and talk to you guys more.
Got to put that new Xbox to work.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Make it run something more than Mass Effect 1.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, but that's the remastered one, right? So is it like...
It is.
So it's at least up-res
it's just kind of upscaled.
New textures and stuff?
I mean, yeah, it still looks like it was made in 2007, but it's still great. Still a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm disappointed, actually. I know we're ending, but
you're good.
Your Desert Island list doesn't include... I know obviously you're not going to have electricity on a desert island.
Oh, shit, I didn't say game. Oh, what game? My apologies, please.
Obviously Halo 1.
Solid.
Yeah.
Should have been Halo Reach, but solid either way.
It's fair. Yes. Well, Halo. That's the one that started it all.
That's right.
So I know we're ending, but I have an. I don't know. Do you want to get in? Can I
go
get
for
into
it.
Halo
By all
real
means.
quick?
Yeah.
By all means.
I thought we were talking about Halo all night. We haven't talked
I
about it.
know, we
really
haven't talked
at all.
about it at all. Just, you
You
can
can
say
edit
whatever
this
you
out,
want, as
it's
long
fine.
as it's not about Halo Reach.
Hey, back off my Reach.
Reach is a great game, no
Amen.
doubt about it. But Halo 1, the aesthetic of it, I think is quintessential Halo. Like they keep making these like super realistic looking Halo games, and it's so cool like what they're doing. But make a Halo that looks like Halo 1, and I will love it more as equally as Halo 1.
So I feel like Infinity's kind of going in that direction, though, at least art style wise. Like I hear what you're saying.
does
Like
feel that way.
the Spartans and
Yeah.
stuff kind of look more modernish, right? But I feel like the vistas and the scenery certainly looks Halo 1-ish.
Yeah, I do see that.
Yeah, it really
But
does.
I think
open
like
up.
the low res textures and just like the geometry that they used, like it just had a certain aesthetic that to me is Halo, and then super detailed graphics, very pretty. I don't know, just not
I
Halo
would
to me.
love it. You know how they did the remaster where you can switch back and forth between the two? If they made
Yeah.
the new one to where you could switch back
The
to
opposite?
like retro graphics.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd be
so
great.
badass.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm totally on board with that.
The thing with Halo, like at any point that I've gone back and played the original Halo CE, so like right now that game is 20 years old essentially. You know, it's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
I can go back and play that
November,
today. Yeah, you can go back and play that today, and it doesn't like it's not hard to play or hard to see or hard to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it has
Not at all.
aged so well because of
Right.
like that art style you're talking about. Like, you know, I tried to play GoldenEye, and it's like it's just like a couple of blobs.
man.
It's just like I can't even tell
Yeah.
who's people. You know. But there are some games like you can go play Mario 64, right? Like Mario 64 holds up still.
Yeah.
Like you can play that just fine. But some of these games that try to do either too much or for whatever reason, technology-wise, like it just doesn't hold up. But yeah, Halo has been one of these ones that has definitely stood the test of time. And right now you can go back and play it just in the classic graphics, and it's completely playable and still a
Yeah.
perfectly enjoyable game.
I'm taking my son through it for his first time.
nice.
Yeah, we're playing through the first time for him.
How was it his first time?
His mom is all violence and the whole thing.
Yeah,
But it's aliens.
but like it's
that's
not
what I
against
gotta say.
I
humans.
know.
Yeah, it's
I
aliens.
tried, man. I tried for so long. I finally got it. He's 14, and he
Yeah.
finally, God.
And it is kind of
But-
like there's a lot of blood and a lot of like they toned it down over the series, and it was kind of surprising going back to Halo 1 and seeing
There's
just,
a lot
like,
of purple blood.
But then you find the bodies of
Oh,
the
that's true.
Marines in the corner and just blood sprayed everywhere. It's like wow.
Oh, but it's an ammo drop.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, great.
There's where the pistol ammo
Look for
is.
blood on the wall.
But anyway, that's my rant on Halo.
With that, I think we can wrap.
Great.
It's gonna be a long edit.
Just leave it all in. It's good. It's all gold.
Yep,
It
that's
is.
right.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it was awesome, Apollo. Thank you very much, man.
Likewise.
It was
Thanks, guys.
good
It's
talking
great.
to you.
Yeah, and thanks for listening, folks.
Yep, we will see you next time. Hear you next time. You'll hear us next time.
Yeah, one or the other.
Not me. I won't be here.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll have to have you do a guest host one time.
Hell yeah. That'd be
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm around. Feel free.
Sweet.
Nice.
Let me know.
Take
All right,
care.
guys.
Bye.
See ya.